What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise post-game show presented by BetOnline. The Blazers go into Detroit, playing a Pistons team missing 5 of their top 6 players, and they get a massive 110-104 win. An amazing win by the Blazers today, winning on back-to-back nights, which we know is hard to do in the NBA. The Blazers get the job done behind a 30-point triple-double from Keon Johnson. No, just kidding. It's Damian Lillard having another good game, carrying this team. Before we jump into things, let's thank BetOnline, our sponsor for today's post-game show. Once again, use that promo code BELIEVE for a 50% reward bonus. Enjoy the end of this NBA season with BetOnline. Enjoy baseball. Try baseball if you don't watch baseball by betting on, you can bet on some things. Live betting, parlays, all sorts of fun stuff with that promo code BELIEVE, BOEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts. Thank you to them for sponsoring this post-game show. Eric, I assume you're absolutely ecstatic with this win.
Yes, very much so. It was a nice touch to hold on and play some good clutch minutes at the end too, right?
Yeah. Phenomenal clutch play.
That's how you want to close out a game against a team like the Pistons with all that pressure they have and all those good defenders and offensive playmakers to really clamp up in those last few minutes and get the job done and make it not a game when you're up by double digits. Yeah, it was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah. Blazers were up 105-90 with 3:25 left in the fourth and still managed to win this game by 6. So you could say it was really good clutch play because, a win is a win. And the Blazers got another win. So shout out to them as they hunt for a play-in berth.
Three wins since the All-Star break against the best was the Magic, who's the 5th worst team. So first and second worst and 5th worst are those three.
But a win is a win, Eric. It counts all the same, right? So
it's true.
Blazers are now 3 games below 500? I mean, that's pretty close to 500. That's pretty good. 31-34. They are now tied with the 10th place Utah Jazz, who were supposed to be tanking all year, and then sold at the deadline and are still supposed to be tanking, and we'll see if they can out-tank the Portland Tank Blazers. But Portland has a chance to be tied for 9th, actually, if the Pelicans are able to lose to the Kings later tonight. Yeah, so we'll see if the Blazers can be tied for 9th, which is obviously a really good seed to have. Anyway, Blazers are obviously back. They get a huge win today. Damian Lillard triple-double. I mean, he's doing it all. Eric, he finished with, let me pull up his actual stats here. Finished with 31 points, 13 rebounds, and 12 assists. He's been the Blazers' best rebounder lately, which is, definitely nothing to do with the rest of the team or their lack of size. It's just Dame being great at literally everything. He didn't shoot the ball too well, but 12 assists, 4 turnovers. You'll take a 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. Carried this team in the game and rebounded, made plays. Phenomenal game from him, playing 38 minutes. Meanwhile, you got Jeremy Grant and Cam Reddish playing 40 minutes.
In the second night of a back-to-back against the frickin' Pistons, who are resting, like you said, 5 of their top 6 guys, we had to play our starters either 40 or near 40 minutes for all but Eubanks. And they looked exhausted. All right, I'm sorry, but okay. The Blazers' biggest lead in the first half was 15. Okay, Dame goes out. Let's find out exactly what it was when he went out. Okay, he goes out in the first quarter. Let's see, what time does he go out? He goes out at 2:21. We're up 8 when he goes out. Okay, 8 points. Okay, he gets rushed back in with 9 minutes left in the second quarter when the Pistons cut the lead to 12. The bench was increasing the lead. He shouldn't have seen that. He looked like he scored a bunch in the first quarter, but he looked like he was tired, man. And this guy Chauncey just freaking runs him into the ground against this Pistons team. Your bench has a double-digit lead unless they cut it below 10 at some point. You just let them play as long as they need to, and you let Dame sit as long as he has to. I just do not understand, man. Even if we make the playoffs because of wins like this, like Dame's going to be so exhausted by the time we get there. He's not even going to be able to help much in the playoffs because he's going to have a broken back from carrying this freaking team. Like, just your bench was doing fine for once. Like, let them just play. And like Nas only ends up playing 15 minutes in this game. I think Sharp plays like 20 or 21 or something.
Sharp,
yeah, like
29 for Watford.
Like, why freaking take them out there? They're doing fine, and then Dame comes in and they cut it to double digits or single digits anyway. So it's not like it helped having him come back in. And we pushed the lead up to, I don't know what the max was in the second half. Like 18 or something like that.
Yep.
But like, and then we give it all back again. We just sat Dame like 3 minutes in the second half too. It's just so freaking ridiculous, man. Like give these guys a freaking break, dude. We do not need to play Cam Reddish and Jeremy Grant 40 minutes. And if we do, that's fucking terrible. Sorry. That's that's terrible, man. I did not mean to do that. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, the state of this team is bringing out the anger.
It's frustrating, man. It's frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. The bench combines to shoot 12 for 15. 12 for 15. Watford 6 for 7. Nas is 4 for 6. Sharp is 2 for 2. Nas plays 15 minutes. I mean, this is why I don't want to see a freaking play-in. It's like we're going against Detroit, who has the worst record in the league, and they're missing 5 of their top 6 players, and Dame has to have a triple-double and, play 38 minutes. Reddish is playing 40. Grant's playing 40. And we still almost blow another double-digit lead to the worst team in the league that's shorthanded. Mm-hmm. So what? We're going to go up in the play-in and we're going to win these games? I guess we might have Nurk and Ant back, but this team just sucks. This team is bad. This team isn't good. The fact that this was even close at the end of the game was embarrassing. And we're going to start getting killed, Eric. We're going to start losing by 20, and Dame will finally be able to get some rest because who do we play after this? We play Boston, and then we play Philadelphia. Ain't no way Portland has a chance in those games playing like this. They can barely beat the Orlando Magic. They have to pull out all the stops just to scratch out a win against a terrible Detroit team. This team, the Portland is basically barely above that tier right now, and that's with Dame playing insane, and that's with Dame having a triple-double. I don't want to play in with this team playing like this. We're just going to get crushed, and then we're going to be sitting there with the 11th best, 12th best lottery odds and saying, oh man, I wish we had a better chance of Wembanyama on draft lottery day. That's exactly what's going to happen. I know it's negative, man, but I gave you guys some positivity. It was very sarcastic at the start of the stream, but I don't know how you can be positive. This is as little positivity as I can give for a win. Playing players into the ground, barely scratching out a win against Detroit, give up 30 in the fourth quarter, almost blow their 16th double-digit lead, which, they lead the league in that. What's there to be positive about? Nothing with this one.
I saw several tweets saying the same thing, and I 100% agreed with them at the time. Detroit looked like one of the worst teams ever in the first half of this game. Like they were terrible. If you would have told me that team playing in the first half would somehow magically cut it to 6 at the end, and we'd be kind of flustered at the end of this game. It's just, it's basically like a loss, right? Except for it doesn't count as a loss on the standings. But how are we? I don't know. We're not good. It's just I don't understand why they're trying to force something to happen that's not going to happen.
Well, that's the thing is we talked about is Chauncey in on a secret tank job with Cronin? I don't think so after tonight. Play players into the ground like that. The thing is, it wasn't even the right decision, as you said. The bench played really well. The 3 guys off the bench played really well. Sharp 2 for 2. Defensively, of course, has his lulls, but Nas 4 for 6, 9 points in 15 minutes. Why the See, you almost inspired me to cuss. I stopped myself, though. Why in the world is Nas playing 15 minutes, playing like that, and you're playing Cam Reddish 40, who's 3 for 10? Cool, he had 8 assists. Wow, he passed the ball. But why is he playing 40 minutes compared to 15? You're going to run Cam Reddish into the ground, too? Like, this is a dude who's barely played, so maybe he's fresh, but what are we accomplishing by gassing our guys in search of a play-in? Because they're just going to be gassing the play-in. Like, we have no chance of doing anything playing like this, gassing our players like this. So that's the entire thing with this organization that is so frustrating for me. Eric is like, what's the direction? How are we doing something positive in the long run? We're not. It's just it's getting stuck in the middle with no chance of making any noise in the playoffs. And games like this make it even more obvious that that's the case, because you beat a freaking terrible Detroit team, barely hang on, almost blow another lead, and you're running your players into the ground. That's not going to work. You're not going to be able to play these guys 40 minutes a game leading up to the playoffs, then expect them to be fresh. So I don't know what, this season is lost.
Well, Ari says what? We need to see what Reddish can do. Like, you don't have to play someone 40 minutes to see what they can do. Like, 32 is plenty to see what Cam can do. Like,
give Nas 23. He played great. Give Cam 32. Like, it's not complicated.
And what? We're trying to see what he can do in 40 minutes and not see what Sharp can do with 30 minutes a game, you know?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah. Yep. So, I don't know. We're trying to make it so that we can't pay Cam Reddish is what we're doing.
You can't convince me that Jabari Smith wouldn't be better at the backup center than Trendon Watford right now either. Who played 30
Watford's
minutes.
Terrible. Defensively, Watford is terrible at the center spot. He had a play yesterday defending a guard on the perimeter, actually moved his feet quite well. I mean, you got to get that dude out of the center spot and move him to a 4 long term if you ever want anything from him. The problem is he can't shoot, though. So Watford's just a guy without a role. His skill set
shooting
makes
over
it hard
40% for 3 this year.
Yeah, I mean,
small sample size.
But like, he plays 29 minutes today, only shoots 1 3. You know, he doesn't shoot threes.
That was the only shot he missed.
Yeah, and he was 6 for 6 inside the arc. But he has too many sloppy plays to say that playmaking is a real strength of his, because he can make some impressive plays for others. But if you're going to be a guy with that responsibility, you also got to take care of the ball. He only had 2 turnovers in this game, but dude, he had some sloppy moments.
Well, him and Eubanks, 48 minutes, 5 rebounds total between the two of them.
That's pathetic.
Yeah.
Dude,
even Jeremy Grant had more rebounds by himself than that.
Dame had 13. How does Dame have 13 rebounds and your centers in 48 minutes have 5? That's more than just them being small or not super strong, because outside of Wiseman, what legitimate big were they playing? Marvin Bagley? Seriously? He had 4 offensive rebounds, almost more offensive rebounds than both our starting centers had rebounds in general combined. Who's their other big? At that point, it's just not boxing out, not pursuing the ball, not giving enough effort. That's pathetic. There is no way that those two should combine for 5 rebounds in 48 minutes. If you made me Drew Eubanks height, I guarantee you I would get 5 rebounds if I played 48 minutes. That's pathetic. But that's, you know why it pisses me off is because, Eric, we're seeing Dame rebound at a really high rate right now. Last game, I think he had 8. Mm-hmm. Or 9, and he had 9 yesterday. He had 13 today. Basically, Dame's I need to carry this team. I need to create every play for everyone, and I need to score 40 points per game. And then he goes out there. The team isn't that successful, even though he is doing that. And he's like, oh, man, we can't rebound. Okay, I guess I got to get 10 rebounds a game, too. And then he goes and doesn't.
we can't even get a role player for Dame that can take some pressure off him so he doesn't have to grab every rebound too. Like, we can't do that.
Pisses me off.
And yeah, it still bothers me that we're apparently going for it, right? You're talking about picking a lane, but like we have no backup ball handler and we have no big man depth still. Like,
we gave up 16 offensive rebounds.
Yep.
We had 5. We got out rebounded 52-38. And we said this was going to be a problem if Nurkic ever went down. This team was just going to be absolutely screwed because of their lack of big man depth. We said it before the season even started.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the thing, is like, okay, you guys are going for it. You're playing your guys into the ground, but you didn't address one of your biggest issues at this past deadline. So what's the direction? It's not consistent. Like, nothing this team or organization does is consistent. We're going to play Grant Reddish 40 minutes a game, Lillard 38, Thibault 37, because we really need a play-in spot. But guess what? You know why we had to play those guys so many minutes? It's because we couldn't grab a freaking rebound because Drew Eubanks and Trent Watford's our centers. Basically, we just overlook things or whatever, and it's like our decisions go against each other, and it just makes everything so much harder. We want to win, but we're not going to address our biggest issue right now. So then we have to run guys into the ground, which guarantees that we're not going to do anything in a play-in or a playoff.
Yep. Yeah, because we're not winning a play-in game without rebounding or giving up 16 offensive rebounds or against a team with any sort of talent, like unlike tonight, you know.
I said earlier, like, oh, if Ja ends up getting suspended, you know, for the playoffs, which is a possibility apparently because he might have taken a weapon on a team plane, which would give him a 50-game suspension. I was like, oh, well, maybe they could have a chance in a series against the Grizzlies. I mean, with Nurkic back, obviously it helps a little bit, but shoot, we're probably getting out-rebounded to death against the Grizzlies because they're a big team.
Well, Brandon Clark's now out for the year, too. Yeah. Fortunately, he got hurt as well. But
yeah, it sucks to see, but it's just gross. It's just gross. I've never been this dissatisfied with the Blazers in my life. I've never been this annoyed at this organization in my life.
I mean, the Pelican series was pretty bad.
My annoyance was specifically towards Terry Stotts in that series. Like, this is just the entire organization, the team, the coaching, the GM, the ownership.
Yeah.
Literally almost everyone except for Dame. So.
C. Thomas says, how come no one ever asked Chauncey Billups what he's doing with minutes? I mean, we don't really ask specific game plan questions with our media yet, you know, so, yeah. Yep. I mean, I hope someone asks him today, but it's a road game, so the media is a lot less prevalent for road games. So yeah, they'll get a pass from the media because they won.
Yep.
Connor says, "Hey, we won," and he got 6 nuggets out of it, so he's getting something.
Man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. People, I don't know. That's why I don't like listening to Chauncey Billups interviews, Eric. Is because none of the questions are about the actual game. We'll talk about the game and be curious as to what Chauncey's thoughts are on specific things that happened during the game, and then those questions are never asked, and it's just like, I guarantee you, his post-game press conference, there's going to be something like, how does it feel to get back-to-back wins and get back on track and get tied for a play-in spot or something like that? And it'll be like, you know, we needed a couple wins and we got them, and guys played hard. I'm happy with the way we competed, and you know, we got a tough one coming up, so we got to try and keep it going or something like that. That's what the post-game press conference is going to be.
Probably.
You know, Dame was phenomenal for us tonight. And, it's just the same stuff we've heard all season. So, let me take a couple donuts. Shout out Michael V with a $5 dono. He says, we struggled to close out games against a bad Magic team and a tanking Detroit team. Time to push for the playoffs, baby. Wono. Thank you, Michael V, for the $5 Wono. Appreciate it. And then shout out Priest with a $5 Wono. Says, running our guys to the ground now and barely beating the worst teams means we're losing the next 10 games in a row. We still about to #brick for Vic. With a laughing face emoji, a shush face emoji, and a cap emoji.
Oh, I didn't talk about this. I wanted to mention this on the stream earlier, but this is a good time to talk about that. Speaking of going for it, so, how many of you wanted us to sign, or at least inquire to sign Nerlens Noel when he was a free agent? Show of hands from chat. So, have some news on that. Nerlens Noel signed a 10-day contract today with the Brooklyn Nets, which means not a single team offered him an actual contract rest of season. So if you are of the opinion that there's no way we didn't at least inquire about Nerlens Noel, that's incorrect. We did not even offer him a spot. So they weren't even willing to make a cut to sign a big man who would have signed with any team that offered him a contract rest of the season, because he's not taking a 10-day contract over a rest of the season contract. So I don't know if that's Cronin or Jody or whatever, but for all of you who think that we could still be players in the buyout market, I mean, get real. We're not signing anyone.
We were saying that for a while too. Like,
yeah. And the person we cut, like, okay, so let's make the argument that they need Ryan Arcidiacono right now, right? Because like we have no secondary ball handler as long as Anthony's out, right? Like, he's hurt too, so like, what does it matter? Like, he's not playing, and we're playing Cam Reddish at point guard, so like, I don't know.
Yeah. Aeromancer says people don't realize how washed he is. Guess what? I don't care if we sign Nerlens Noel to do anything except rebound. He averages 10 rebounds per 36 in his career. Guess what? That would be great for our center position, considering we get 5 rebounds in 48 minutes tonight from that position. Like, he rebounds it twice, more than twice a better rate than our centers rebounded today. We gave up 16 offensive rebounds. Like, that's the thing, is Noel is not good. He's not good. But the problem is our center position is downright awful. Horrible. Because one of the biggest needs you have in a center position is they're supposed to be your best rebounders, not your freaking point guard, who has to do literally everything else. So everybody that's all hyped up after a couple wins, like, playing, we're tied in the playing spot, we need to be happy about wins. You're mad about a win? I'm mad because this team is absolutely directionless, and that's just another point towards that, Eric. We're supposedly going for it. We have a desperate need at center, and don't even inquire about a center on the market that would help our rebounding and help our team, because we're so desperate at that spot.
But that's my thing. Don't tell me you're trying to win, though. You're giving Dame like no help, and it's not. I'm not saying Nerlens Noel, but like other Blazers media people, Nerlens Noel is a trade target at the deadline for the Blazers. We wouldn't even sign him for $500,000 for the rest of the season. He wasn't no trade target. We tried telling you guys that the whole season. There's no way.
A trade target? Or do you not want to name names?
I'm not going to name names. You guys know who it is. But yeah, so like, yeah, that was their big trade target, like, for most of the season, right? And we were going to get him somehow. Blazers are interested in him. No, they weren't. They don't even want to sign him for nothing, like, for not giving up anything right now. And like, this is why, like we told you, they're not actually trying to go for it, even though everything they're telling you is they are. So like, like, they are purposely trying to do this to Dame, and it's driving me crazy. And that's why I'm starting to now shift towards what you said earlier, that this is definitely the most frustrating, because like we're doing this against what Dame wants to do. And then as Reese brings up, like, we freaking trade for Keon as this big part of the trade. He's a first round value. Like, we don't have minutes for him. We talk about that. Now we have a time where we actually don't have a backup guard and we need someone to step up and get minutes, and we have potentially minutes to develop him, and he's not even seeing a single minute of playing time. Like, so, like, another wasted asset there, you know? like why didn't we just get rid of him at the trade deadline if we weren't going to play him at all? Like, that's another contract next year that we could have gotten rid of. I don't understand what the heck this team is doing.
Yeah. I forgot my point. Shout out John Mullis, member for 3 months, says names, and start Keon. Yeah. First round value, guys. He's a first round value. You know, if we don't play him, then his value shouldn't go down, right? That's how it works? I don't know. But yeah. Here's the thing, Eric. Here's the thing. If you're going to do that to Dame, then don't play him 38 minutes. Don't run him into the ground then. You know what I mean? Like, that's the frustrating part, is if you're doing this to Dame to try and, like, quietly tank, don't play him 38 minutes and don't play other guys 40 minutes. Like, you're basically running guys into the ground to scratch out a win against a bad, terrible Detroit team. It doesn't go in line with, like, oh, we're quietly tanking because we're not addressing our weaknesses.
If you're going to let Dame do, like, let's just say he wants to come back in and he wants to play, in the first half of a game against a terrible team, and you're not in any position where you're losing the lead or anything, you've actually increased the lead with him on the bench, you say, hey, I know you want back in, but let's just let these guys get you a few more minutes in the first half. Then you're only playing like 35 minutes, right? And it's fine. You come back and you're fresher than the last 5 minutes of the second quarter or how much ever you play. And then you can play more in the second half because you got to sit like 8 minutes or so in the first half. And I just don't understand why we're rushing him back in the second quarter against the Pistons, like, because they scored one basket and cut the lead from 14 to 12. Like who the heck cares? Like so if I don't think they're like purposely doing anything to Dame like that he's not aware of. I mean, I better not find out that they are like telling him one thing and doing the opposite, because that, I mean, the fan base is already or 100% against Jody, but like, if you want to see people turn on Cronin finally, that would be the quickest way to do that. But I mean, the fan base is pretty much turned on Chauncey as well, but like he might be doing the wishes of his front office too. So I don't know, man. I do think this front office is actually dumb enough to want them to make the playoffs, though, because that's more money. Because they get, if they make the playoffs, they get at least a couple home games.
Yeah, would they have made up the $500,000 that they would have paid for Noel?
Yeah, they would have with the gate. That's 2 games. Yeah.
So, I mean, like, do you guys see how inconsistent everything is with this organization? How contradictory so many different things are with this organization. How directionless this organization is. That's why I'm frustrated. That's why I don't want to make a play-in. Because we're completely directionless. And we're, like, we have no sense of direction at all. That's, like, I don't understand how people think we do. Nothing has shown me that we have some sort of master plan or some sort of sense of direction here. That's why I say the only thing that can save this franchise is a Miracle Joel Embiid trade, so that you end up with 2 of the top 10 players in the league who are perfect for each other, or if you end up with the best prospect since LeBron. That's why I say that's the only thing that will be able to save this ownership and this front office and this GM, because they seem completely clueless. They don't... nothing makes sense that they do. Everything is directionless. So, you know, obviously if you are able to pull off a blockbuster out of the blue, that would change things. Obviously, if you get Wembanyama, that would change things. But that's why I'm rooting for losses. I wanted the Blazers to choke this lead. Because the only way they get a sense of direction, Eric, is if they get lucky. Yeah. Which is the problem.
I mean, after last night, I don't think winning or losing against the Pistons really mattered, because now we're pretty much stuck in that 6 to 12 range anyway, pretty much, is if we don't make the playoffs. But yeah. It's just, I don't, what's the worst possible thing that could happen this season, do you think?
Dame getting hurt.
Yep. And what does playing major minutes when someone looks exhausted, like, open up the risk of happening? Like, I'm not saying like it's guaranteed to happen or anything, but I feel like we're putting him at risk to get seriously hurt. The amount of work he's having to do while on the court and the amount of minutes he's playing and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
Like, what happens if this silliness that we're doing right now, playing him 40 minutes a game and running him into the ground on a second night of a back-to-back for no reason, gets him hurt in a situation where he's now out for a couple months into next year, or, knock on wood, heaven forbid, like nothing more serious than that, where he's out like next year too. Like that would be the most devastating thing for this season, because not only would that happen, but we wouldn't be far enough down in the standings to make a difference to like fully go all in on the tank now, right? Because there's not enough games left, and and then we'd put him at risk. So like, I mean, you can't like make your decisions based on someone getting hurt, but like playing him this many minutes and especially against the Pistons on a second night of a back-to-back just makes no sense, dude.
Yeah, and that's my entire response to, like Kenneth had a comment that said, it's not hard to grasp. They are quietly tanking. Dame would never tank while healthy, so he's just playing as usual. If they're quietly tanking, don't play him 38 minutes on the second night of a back-to-back. Don't play Jeremy Grant and Cam Reddish 40 minutes on the second night of a back-to-back so that you can claw out a game. If you're quietly tanking, then Chauncey should maybe be on the same page as your front office, so it's not the front office hoping that they lose, but then Chauncey's like, we gotta win. I gotta play these guys into the ground. Because that's, a clashing between your front office, if they want to quietly tank, and your coach who's running guys into the ground trying to win games. And that's entirely the directionless that I'm talking about. That's the problem. So you can't have your coach and your front office and your best player all contradicting each other over the last 20 games of a terrible season. Of a season where you're, 13th, 12th in the West. Oh, now we're tied for a play-in. Yay. What's it going to result in? This season is an absolute mess. Last year was more successful because at least we had a clear direction at the end of the season. Right now, what's the deal? Right now it's directionless. I don't know how else to put it or explain it.
Yeah. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a situation where you tell Dame, well, we're not going to play you much. Like I said, just sit him out a few more minutes in the first half tonight. That's all you had to do. I
mean, they rested him after the All-Star break, so right. They have to play him 38 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, he couldn't play in a game because of the snow to risk injury, but playing him 39 minutes on the second night of a back-to-back, that's not putting him at risk. Get out of here with this crap, man. This organization is a joke.
Yep, I hate that.
And Tom Fisher says Dame is definitely wanting to go for the scoring title, though, right? Like, no, I don't think he cares about that. Like, obviously he wants to score as much as possible to help this team win. But I don't think he cares about the scoring title as much as he cares about making the playoffs. And I don't know. Like, if you look at it realistically, if you have to play 39 minutes against this particular Detroit team tonight just to beat them, like, it's not going anywhere anyways. So, like, I don't doubt him for wanting to try that. But like I said, all it takes is for him to sit out a little longer than normal in the first half and not rush him back in.
Guru of Basketball says Dame doesn't want the media to see his by numbers best season ever, leading to a play-in spot. I don't really understand that, but Dame doesn't...
not leading? Maybe you just...
Not leading to a... Yeah. I mean, I don't think Dame cares about media narratives. When has Dame ever cared about media narratives? I don't think Dame is hell-bent on his numbers. Like, I think he's trying to will this team to a victory, He's gassing himself rebounding because this team can't rebound. He had 13 rebounds today because nobody else would rebound. Like, Dame's just out there competing, trying to win games because he's a competitor, which is the type of guy you want leading your team. But yeah, I don't think it's anything else other than that. I don't think it's like, oh, I have to make the play-in because I'm having a great season numbers-wise, so, I can't afford to miss the play-in averaging this many points. Dame doesn't think like that. Like, honestly, if you think Dame thinks like that, I feel like you're not familiar enough with who Dame is as a person. So,
People's Mix knows Dame better than us, apparently, because he was watching that fourth quarter and he was 100% gunning for that scoring title. He was stat padding for that 30-piece. You realize 30-piece is below his seasonal average? So he was stat padding to get below his season average. How does that help him win a scoring title, Kevin? Or Abdi, or whatever the heck your name is. Why don't you just change your name back to your real name instead of trying to be a fake person?
Yeah. Bro, like, people... Okay, you have to be... Let me figure out how to word this in a way that's not too mean. You're clueless if you think that Dame shooting shots with this crappy team isn't him trying to win. Because guess what? This offense is entirely reliant upon Dame carrying it, just like it's always been. How clueless are you? Are you really that clueless where you think, oh, Dame being aggressive offensively means that he's not caring about the team, he's only caring about his own numbers? What?
And why? Because he actually missed shots tonight. He hasn't missed shots in like 3 months, but now tonight he misses a few shots and has one of his worst shooting nights in a while. But what, is he back to being washed in stat padding now? Get out of here with that crap, dude.
It's just absolutely moronic statement, man. Like, sure, I'm sure he would like to get the scoring title, but y'all just slandering this dude's character if you're saying that he's caring about his stats over trying to win games. Guess what? You know he's trying to win games because of how hard he's battling on the boards at 6'2". 13 rebounds in this game because our centers could only get 5 in 48 minutes of play. So stop slandering this dude's character on some BS. God, it annoys me, man. Like, it's like, here's the thing with Dame. It's like, if he has 3 games where he struggles early in the season, he's washed. Like, people are so quick to, like, try and change the narrative on him when he's been consistently himself for 11 years. It's like people want to change the narrative because they're tired of, oh, this dude is just consistently shows up day in, day out, gives his best effort, plays his ass off, and has to carry this team. It's hater stuff. You want it to be, oh, he's stat padding. Because when he's carrying this team to wins against better teams and making more shots, it's all of a sudden not stat padding. It's him willing his team to the win.
And he couldn't get a foul call tonight. That's what he's not stat padding. He's trying to draw fouls, and he didn't do a good job of finishing, but he's been an incredible finisher this year. Yeah. Just wasn't a good finisher tonight. That's not stat padding. Well, let me just say this too. He's 6 of 14 for 3. That's like 42.something%. Like, that's not stat padding, dude. Yeah.
Do you guys really not understand how you could portray him being aggressive offensively because he's by far the best player on this team also is stat padding? Like, you could say any game that Dame's been aggressive in is stat padding. You could say when he had 71, oh, he only had 71 because he was stat padding. You could say when he had 55 in Game 6 against... At the very, very end. Yeah, at the very, very end. But guess what? You could tell. You could see it. It was obvious. No. Like, you could say him scoring 55 in Game 5 against the Nuggets back in 2021 was stat padding because he was aggressive offensively.
Well, freaking teammates were like 1 for 19 in the end of the game. So,
like, we're talking about how he shot 9 shots in the fourth quarter when the roster around him is absolutely terrible, and we're talking about him stat padding, bro. Like, y'all gotta chill.
13 between Cam and Thibault today. So that's 2 of his teammates he's out there playing with.
He is the offense. Like, he's the offense. So, I don't know. He's shot some insanely aggressive shots in the past, and nobody's ever questioned whether it's stat padding. But now, because he's averaging 32.5 points per game and close to the scoring title, now when he does it, now it'll be, oh, look, see, I think he's stat padding because he wants it. If he was averaging 29 points per game, guess what? he still probably would have been just as aggressive because he's trying to win games and he's the offense, but people wouldn't have questioned it because he's only at 29 points per game, so he's not close enough to pursue the scoring title. But since he's so close, now all of a sudden it's an attack on his character. Dame has been vehement about not hunting stats in the past, and you could tell even when he's close to triple doubles, he's not hunting stats in the past. The only time he's ever hunted stats was when he had 70, which he didn't hunt it as much as Devin Booker did when he got his 70. Like, I mean, when you're at 70 points, up 12, that's like the only time I've ever truly seen Dame go hard after stats, right? So either you think he's lying in terms of him not hunting stuff when he says he doesn't hunt stuff. Guess what? After that 71 point per game, he didn't say he didn't hunt it at the end there. Dame's not the type to lie, so I just don't understand the narrative. That narrative drives me crazy.
Nate J. Dub says Blazer fans piss him off so much. I don't go on Twitter, but Facebook and Insta alone is full of brain dead fans. That's your fault for going on those two for Blazers content.
Yeah, Facebook's probably the worst.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I wonder how bad it is compared to other fan bases. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Shout out to Nathan Foley member for a month. Member message says Jake Layman. Thank you, Nathan, aka Jake Layman.
Dude, yeah. Tom Fisher reminds me. Giannis is a stat pattern. That was a stat padding thing. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That is stat padding.
No doubt about it. Like
he walks up and just purposely misses a lay-in at the end. That is stat padding. Dame trying to will his team to win and make the play-in is not stat padding. I know the NBA took it away. I'm just saying, like, that's what stat padding looks like. If you want an example of what that is, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Anyway, Garrett says 13, 8, and 6 for Reddish. Talk about stat padding. Yeah, Reddish was obviously trying to get a triple-double because he saw Dame get a triple-double and just needed to chase the triple-double too, just so he could maybe get a bigger contract. He was chasing those stats, Eric.
I mean, he played 40 minutes and we played him as the backup point guard.
I know, I'm being sarcastic in case anybody's like, you hate Cam Reddish so much. I mean, he had 8 assists and only 1 turnover. That's pretty good. If he could consistently pass the ball, that'd be awesome. What's up?
During the middle of the game, Dame was not stat padding, but Dame coming in when they had a major lead and sustaining it and coming back in to get the 30 points is stat padding. Dame coming back, he had, 28, I think, or something going in. Didn't he have, 20-some points?
Yeah, 27, I think.
Going into when he came back in the fourth quarter. Give it a rest, bro. He came back at his normal time when he always does. They didn't put him.
He played as he
would have played the fourth quarter whether he had 800 points or 0 points, dude. He had the triple-double by the time he went out in the third quarter. So, he had already had the triple-double, dude. Give it a freaking rest,
I mean,
man.
He came back in and missed a couple of layups at the rim. What? In order to not stat pad when he gets subbed in at his normal time, he just needs to, not shoot? That's the best way to give up the lead. He's trying to win. So he gets a couple drives and misses a couple shots at the rim, where he's finished great all year long, by the way, but misses a couple shots at the rim, and all of a sudden he's chasing?
Yeah, and someone, sorry, I forgot who it was, but someone said earlier, if he just gets a couple of fouls on those, he's 10 of 24 from the field instead of 10 of 28, and he gets to the free throw line his normal amount, and he probably has over 40 points without looking like a stat pad.
Yep. I mean, every time we've had people in our chat chase narratives, I feel like it's I feel like we are pretty good about not chasing specific narratives in regards to Dame's washed. Ant doesn't fit next to Dame after 3 games and then he breaks out in the 4th game. People are too reactionary to stuff that doesn't actually mean anything. Dame was gassed at the end of this game, so he missed some shots because he gets ran into the ground and had to rebound and pass and do everything.
Yeah. Trevin says Apollo's box score watching. LOL. Yeah. Against the Pistons, no one else can score.
I mean, our bench could score, but the problem is our
They
bench barely played because Chauncey didn't play them. I mean, like, is Eubanks going to, or who was even in at the end? Was it Watford? Watford played more. Like, Cam Reddish was 3 for 10. He made 3 shots in 40 minutes. Okay. Thibault was 1 for 3 in 37 minutes. He made 1 shot in 37 minutes. Like, Jeremy Grant can score. Dame, it's not like Dame came back in and shot every shot. Eubanks or Watford, I mean, they're bigs that don't really do much. Like, the offense, I don't understand. The offense has been Dame and will continue to be Dame, trying to carry everything. So when Dame tries to carry late in the game and is gassed and misses shots because he's being ran into the ground and has to do everything, all of a sudden it's for selfish nature.
Bailey Swiss says, I think we could have won this game without Dame. Yeah, but, I mean...
No, we should
have been able to, but I don't know if that's true. Like,
Dame was a +8. We got outscored by 2 with Dame off the floor, and that was with Dame off the floor. We were going against their bench, which was basically Corey Joseph, Hamidou Diallo, and R.J. Hampton, with a little sprinkling of Jared Rhoden, and 3 minutes of Eugene Omarui. Right, and we still got outscored. And that was with our bench playing well. It was more so probably the other guys in the game against their bench, right? Like, we don't have Dame, and all of a sudden, Isaiah Livers guarding someone else. Like, everything changes. It's not like, oh, Dame shot the ball, didn't shoot the ball well in this game, so we would have, we would have still won without him. Dame was our best rebounder, our best passer. Still had more points than shots.
Do you remember what happened at the beginning of the third quarter? I mean, the fourth quarter. Sorry, fourth quarter when Dave was on the bench. We inbounded Cam, and he lost the ball right to the guy, and they got a layup out of it. And then he tried to go behind the back and fell over the next possession and almost turned the ball over again. He was lucky that it was a jump ball.
I'm just baffled at
who's handling the ball tonight.
I'm baffled at the thought that we beat the Pistons by 6, barely beat them. If we didn't have our best player who's playing amazing basketball, who defenses are fully geared up to stop, if we didn't have him, we still would have won. That's a terrible argument. That's a terrible opinion. Like, that's just Anyway, Apollo says the facts are Dame came in when he didn't need to. Bro, that's not that's an opinion. Learn the difference between a fact and an opinion.
A 10-point lead in the NBA is nothing. He was coming back in that game.
How many 10-point leads have we blown this year?
God, dude.
How many 10-point leads have we blown this year? It's just terrible. Just stop. Just stop, dude. We gotta move on from this guy.
Yes, we almost blew the game anyway. Like, what are you talking about, dude?
Bro, I gotta move on. Shout out Bob and Weave, $5 dono, says, I was at the game tonight and met Cronin at halftime getting drinks. I told him to get Embiid and he laughed, so if it happens, I take credit. I will gladly give you credit, Bob and Weave, if we get Embiid, because that means we get Embiid, and that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Hopefully we could get 25-point leads that we wouldn't blow, and then, Dame wouldn't have to come back in instead of 10-point leads where we have to play Dame and people blame Dame for stat padding or whatever the hell we're on right now. Thank you, Bob and Weave, for the $5 dono.
Yeah. Interesting that Cronin's spending his time
drinking
tonight.
I mean, has Cronin been drunk his entire time as the Blazers GM? Because everything would make a lot more sense. I'm sure Cam Reddish looks like Paul George if you're drunk enough. Anyway. Remember 8 points in 8 seconds when Dame was benched? I mean, yeah, it's just ridiculous, man. Like, Dame always comes back in with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter when we're up like 10 or 12. It's just crazy stuff being said right now, man. Dame entered the no, it wasn't even 8 minutes. Dame entered the game with 10 minutes left in the fourth. Yeah, 10-14 left in the fourth when we were up 10.
Yeah. NBA game, still 10 minutes left.
Yeah, like I mean, Chauncey shouldn't have ran guys into the ground, but it's also not a situation where you sit Dame the rest of the game.
What was the lead when he left?
What do you mean when he left? In the third?
Yeah. Are you close to looking at that? I can look it up.
I can find it. Let's see here. 83-67. So we're up 16 with 2:43 left, and in less than in a little bit more than 4 minutes, the lead got cut from 16 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
So then he's panicked and subbed Dame back in, but it's like, A, we didn't have to overplay him, but B, it wasn't a situation where you're resting him the entire game and just know you're gonna win. We literally got outscored by 6 in less than 4 minutes, so you think we were guaranteed to keep a 10-point lead in more than 10 minutes? It doesn't make sense. So, stop trolling, stop having horrible opinions, and,
I'm sick of you people's mix. Just stop, man. You're so annoying.
Yeah. Also, Dame got hit on the head and was holding it for the rest of the night. Yeah, I mean, hopefully he's not,
didn't look too bad, like on the replay, but yeah.
Bleeding from his knee too. Yeah, I mean, we ran him into the dirt tonight. Exactly, Bob and Weave. Exactly, man. God. I can't believe we're here. I can't believe this is reality right now. But also, I can completely believe it. Yeah. At the same time, I mean, imagine 10-4. Like, oh yeah, you want to see the future? Here's what a post-game show is going to look like after Game 65. Oh man, at least it would have prepared me.
Oh yeah, here we go. Crypto. Okay, the only opinion allowed is that of the host. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you got it. Good job, man. Good job. So,
Kevin Reese hasn't been banned multiple times and been warned to not do stuff that he keeps doing, and has been giving like 800 chances to not do it and warnings even earlier in this show, and keeps going. But yeah, as Brisbane said, you thought you were cooking, but you weren't.
Yep. If Eric, if somebody comes in chat and says the Earth is flat and we roast them for it, that means our opinion on everything is the only opinion that's ever allowed.
Yeah. Did we ban Apollo or something? Is he shadow banned?
We're not allowed to go, if we give our opinions on people's opinions, then that means our opinions are the only one that's allowed, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's typical. Like, yeah. When you don't have anything good to say, if you get called out on your dumb opinions, then it's automatically that no one else accepts differing opinions.
Yeah. I mean... yeah, that's how it's always going to be, I'm sure it would be a little bit better if we just never responded to chat and only gave our opinions and let chat run wild, slandering Dame's character in regards to him stat chasing instead of caring about winning, which, he's shown that he cares about winning more than his individual stats numerous times through his career. But if we just let people come in and just like derail chat with those BS opinions and didn't say anything about it, sure, maybe we come across as allowing other opinions a little bit better. But, then also we're not talking with our community. I mean, we talk with chat. We're interactive. Some people like it, some people don't, but we're interactive, man. But part of being interactive is when we see takes like that, that's just a bad take.
So no, when someone says that Dame's like just in it for the points and stuff, like we're supposed to just agree with them and say, you know what, that's a very valid opinion. Dame has definitely only cared about himself and the scoring title this season. He definitely doesn't want the team to win or anything. Like, he could care less if they win or make the playoffs or anything. That's just so great comment. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, there's some opinions that I disagree with that are valid opinions. There's some opinions that I disagree with that are complete BS, okay?
Right.
The thing is you can't really have much of a conversation about opinions that are complete BS because they're complete BS. So, it's just the way it is. Anyway. Anyway, yeah.
Colonel Pancake says, I cannot believe anyone would think Dame would care about stat padding. It's an insult to anyone with intelligence. There you go.
Wait. Okay, I'm gonna have to read this off as a perfect example for what we just talked about, and then we have to move on. This dude is in here saying, I didn't say the scoring title thing, by the way. I just said that Dame wanted to get to 30, and it was obvious to me and a lot of people. Bro, see, that is an example of such a BS, completely clueless opinion that we're going
You're
to
making
roast.
stuff up. Yeah.
You think Dame cares about the 30-point threshold? Are you kidding me?
He definitely didn't want to beat the Pistons. As long as he got his 30 points, he could have cared less if they kept the lead or not. Yeah.
You think a dude that's had like double-digit 40-point games this year, a 50-point game, 60-point game, 70-point game, and is averaging more than 30 points per game, cares about the 30-point threshold in an individual game? You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. That's the type of opinions we will roast because that makes no sense, man.
Like, if you're talking, we were up like 10 halfway through the fourth quarter. Dame comes back in, and he's got like 43, and he's gunning for 50 maybe. But 30 is like
30.
Like I said, that's below his seasonal average. He averages more than 30. Why would he care about coming in and stat padding so he can get to 30 points? No one freaking cares.
This is hilarious. Anyway, shout out Nate J. Does says Dame and this channel are the only reasons I'm still following the team this year. Sharp 2, I guess. Yeah, I mean, we're still streaming for 2 hours. Obviously, we're view chasing. Obviously, we're stat padding views by streaming for 2 hours after every one of these games, because at this point, we should only stream for 10 minutes because of how freaking ridiculous this organization is. But obviously, we're stat padding because we don't need to stream for 2 hours.
It's such a loser mentality. Like, Dame is not a loser. Like that would be, man.
Thanks for the content, though. Appreciate it.
Like the Don says, the guy who just dropped 71 is like sitting on the bench, thirsty to come back in to make sure he scores 30 this game. Like, jeez, man. Like, can you have a more ridiculous take than
that? But Eric, we don't like that take, so nobody's ever allowed to disagree with us ever. God, dude. I'm happy that a lot of people understand where we come from with just how ridiculous some of these takes are, man. Like, put yourself in our shoes up here having to read this type of stuff, and then if you ever speak out against it, you don't allow anything else. Like, dog, just have better opinions, man. You can have a decent opinion and disagree with us. I promise you that. The problem is a lot of stuff we respond to is just the utter crap. Stop flinging crap at the wall and seeing what sticks, all right? It's too much. I can't handle it. Anyway,
oh yeah, a 30-point triple-double is legendary. No one cares about that. Like, he doesn't care. Yeah. He doesn't care.
I don't care. Nobody cares. He don't care.
Okay, if Dame cared about triple-doubles and crap, why would he only have 3? And this is his third, right? In his career, like, Dame would have 800. Like, I'm going to use that number every time I'm exaggerating. He would have 800 triple-doubles because that's what he would stat pad. He does not stat pad, and that is proof. 3 triple-doubles in, 11 seasons is proof he does not stat pad. So get out of here if you think he does still.
Bob and Weave says, Dame took a full-court heave against the Magic, taking his three-point percentage for no reason. That's not a stat patter. Well, he had 41 points in that game, but he really, really wanted 44 specifically. So that's why he shot that shot. He cared more about that than his three-point percentage. That's why he shot it. Yeah. Anyway. 63 likes. Y'all stat padding, yo. We all knew you were going for that 60 piece. Man, can you guys please get us to 100? I am desperate for 100 likes. I'm sitting here, just like Dame was sitting on the bench thinking about 30, and I'm sitting here on this chair thinking about 100 likes. So hit that like button. It would be absolutely legendary and a good reflection upon us if there is 100 likes on the stream. So,
you know what's absolutely hilarious too? It was just after last game they played the question and answer on this broadcast during this specific game that Dame said that he's a patient person, doesn't care about stats, and has to force himself to come in and be aggressive at times when but that's not in his personality. His personality is more just a patient person and let the game come to him, and whatever happens, happens. But he has to like realize that at times he needs to not be that way and be aggressive. And he literally said that that's how he approaches games. Yet we're to believe he came in with like 20 some points, like only to get up to 30, so he didn't look bad with his triple double, and it was legendary instead of just okay. No, I'm not going to relax, man. Your takes are horrible.
Yeah, he said, we are off our rocker. So at that point, all right, gloves coming off. You're either an absolute moron or a troll, okay? If you want to say we're off our rocker. Anyway.
You can have your own views. It's just wrong.
No, thank you for your views. It's content. Appreciate it. We almost got to 100 likes because of you.
And you're basically, I mean, if you're a fan of the Blazers, you're basically spitting in Dame's face. So congrats on that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you're trolling as like a Warriors fan that has nothing better to do because the Warriors don't play today. So, anyway, Eric. Yeah, we need Kieran up here to just absolutely go in, man. Trade deadline, we were all off our rockers. Ha ha ha. I mean, I don't know, man.
Well, okay.
I don't buy into the whole overreactionary prisoner of the moment stuff. You guys know that.
Okay, yeah, Apollo, I agree with you, and that's what I'm going to say to that statement that we were off our rockers at the trade deadline, because this exact thing was why we were mad on that day, is because we didn't get him enough help for now. We're taking flyers on projects who are playing fine, but we're still not playing well enough with those guys. We could get injured guys back, sure, but we knew those guys were injured heading into this. And side note, I saw a comment like what Simons and Nurk's problem. Well, Simons came back way ahead of schedule and then re-injured it and couldn't even walk back to the locker room. I was at that game and watched him struggle to get down the path to the locker room there. He got re-injured. So it's not like he's sitting out on purpose because they're like milking some injury or something. He literally came back like weeks ahead of schedule, and then he re-injured the same injury. And Nurkic, I mean, you can say what you want about a grade 1 calf strain, should have been back by now, but like when you're a 7-foot big man with calf issues, like you don't take those seriously. And we didn't take it seriously with Dame earlier in the season, and he came back too soon and then had to sit out again a couple weeks later. And they're just trying to make sure that when he comes back, he doesn't have any sort of chance of re-aggravating it. And I don't think that's the wrong decision either. But going back to the trade deadline, you knew those two people were hurt. Or actually, Anthony wasn't hurt at the time, sorry. But you knew Nurk was hurt at the time and was likely to be out a couple weeks. So why not get some backup help that we've needed all along, even when he was healthy? And so that's why we're so frustrated and off our rockers, because we knew this would lead to Dame still playing great, but this team not giving him any help or enough help to actually make a legit run while he's playing like this. And then now we have to answer questions about him stat padding and crap.
Yep. Speaking of stat padding, Eric, so you know how Miami was a 3-point favorite?
Yep, they won by 2.
Did you see the play that they won by 2 on?
I didn't. I saw someone.
So they made a free throw with 1.4 seconds left remaining to go up 5. Hawks had no timeouts. They inbounded full court to DeJounte Murray, no defense being played, and he cashed a 3.
At the buzzer. Nice.
Yeah.
Cover the spread.
So just a terrible beat. Who had Miami today?
Jackson, Double Down, and Chat.
Jackson, that's tough.
And also, the Hawks blew. They were up like 15 or something in the first half and blew that lead. The other
I was like trying to pick the game today, Eric, and I was like, you know what? I hate picking Miami. It always goes terribly, so I'm not going to pick them. And then,
Can you imagine
that's a
if you
perfect
did?
example. Oh my goodness, I've been so mad. Pacers came back and barely covered. Okay, it's not a bad. I thought it was going to be a terrible picks day for me, but I'm actually just sitting here at 3-1 because the Cavs almost were able to cover because they got OT.
Tori, the same thing happened in the Pacers 76ers game too.
Did it? A buzzer beater?
Halliburton hit a buzzer beater. Yeah.
Oh, and he had 40 points, so he was desperate to make that shot to get to specifically 40 points.
Mm-hmm. It would have been a push if he didn't make it, but
yeah,
still.
And to screw people out of money too. He wanted to do that too, So, anyway, Raptors beating the Nuggets 76-74. I'll be mad because I doubled down on the Nuggets. I'm rooting for the Nuggets. I don't know what's going on with the Nuggets.
Go Raptors.
I guess, and let's see what Nikola Jokic has. Jokic only has 9 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists after 25 minutes played. He's 3 for 3 from the field. So obviously, he heard those stat chasing narratives and decided to be trash. So
what's up, Jakob?
What's up, Jakob? Bob and Weave says, I like the idea of point forward Cam, but he doesn't have that skill yet. I mean, he needs to get better handling the ball then. Because he can handle the ball for a 3, but for a point guard, he's not a good enough ball handler. And I don't know if he can read the floor at that sort of level. I mean, he had 8 assists today. I kind of want to go back and watch him. Yeah. But who had a lot of assists yesterday? Was it
Grant?
Cam? Oh, it was Grant. Yeah, Grant had like 6
Grant
assists.
Grant had a career high 7, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Grant just made the right plays. So, you want guys that can just make the right decision whether to score or pass. I mean, here's the thing though, is against a team like this, it's possible for like Cam to play some point guard against the better defenses in the league that close the gaps faster on passing windows, that will get into the ball a little bit more, be a little bit more physical on the ball, deny entry passes. That's the test for a point forward Cam Reddish. Not the Pistons. Like, he looked good today, don't get me wrong. This isn't a critique with him today. I'm just saying that Detroit is not the type of team to truly test him if the Blazers are playing him in that role. So we could get a chance. Obviously, next game they play Boston, who's lost 2 overtime games in a row. Should be able to get a better feel for, if he could actually do that against a legit competition next game, because Detroit is just obviously bad.
Someone just said that, and now that we played the Magic and it's Rahi. Thanks, Rahi. Now that the Magic and Pistons games are over, Tankathon now has us as the 3rd hardest remaining schedule.
Yep, I told you guys we were gonna have a top 5 hardest schedule after these 2 games. Yeah, so embrace the tank again, even though we kind of ruined the tank. Because we won against Orlando. I mean, obviously you expect to win today, but the win against Orlando was the worst case scenario for the tank, because I don't know how we're going to be able to catch them. That's going to be hard. Speaking of the tank, let's look at Tankathon. Let's look at freaking Tankathon.com. We're currently... God. Man, we are currently... How do I pull it up here? Nope, that's not the right one. Where is it?
Elmax says, why did they abandon the tank? They didn't. They've been not taking this whole time. They just suck. But they don't suck enough to lose to Orlando and Detroit. So that's what happens.
They're stuck in
that's what happens when you don't fully tank. You beat teams sometimes. And we barely beat both those teams.
Yeah. So we are now here. We now have a 2.1% chance at Wemby, less than a 10% chance at at the top 4. Whereas if we lost to Orlando, we could have been pursuing a greater than 10% chance at Wemby. But we're currently tied with the Lakers and the Jazz, Eric. So we are what? We are 2 games out of the 8th seed, but we're tied for the 9th seed. If the Pelicans lose, they'll move up, and it'll be 4 teams at 31 and 34, all in the West: Utah, the Lakers, Portland, and New Orleans. Oh, yay. We are currently 2 games back of 7, only a half game back of 8. we are 4 games back of 5 though. Whereas if
I
we lost to Orlando after yesterday, we would only been 1.5 games back of 5.
I don't know why we get screwed in this scenario with the 3-way tie. We don't get the 2.2%. That would be karma, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, their tiebreakers are just based off
but
current streak, last 10 win percentage, overall losses, and finally a power ranking. Tiebreaker in real life is a random drawing at the end of the season. It's what they say. So
they
just
Kyle,
base it off random stuff.
As Kyle says, 2.2, we'd for sure get Wemby, right? No? 2.2 wouldn't be a lucky number?
No, just kidding. No comment. No comment.
Oh, all right.
Change of topic. Shout out Jason Hawley with a $10 dono. Says, can't remember if it was Gary Harris or Jamal Murray that was 2 points short of 50 and took a last-second disrespectful shot against us when up by 15. That is stat padding. Pissed Dame off. Yeah, I don't think you'd ever see Dame doing that. He subbed out of the Rockets game, before the very end of it when he had 71. So, thank you, Jason, for the $10 dono. Yeah, I mean, that whole narrative that he's stat padding is absolutely crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. But, he stat padded rebounds today, I guess, because he had 13 of them. Just, the problem is we actually needed him to get 13 rebounds to win this game. So is it stat padding or is it him trying to win? Anybody that's hating could portray it as stat padding, but obviously he's trying to lead us to wins because he's always been about winning because he's a true competitor. And that's part of the reason why he wants to stay in Portland is because he's competitive. He doesn't want a super team. Anyway, you ready to simulate this thing and see us be 12th, Eric?
Let's do it.
At 14, Toronto. At 13, New Orleans. At 12, Portland. Yay! We can't tank. So we're 12th. Number 1 pick is Charlotte. Let's do it twice. Yep, we're still 12th. Let's do it. Let's just do it till we get top 4 so we have a scenario to talk about. That last scenario before this one was disgusting because it was the Pelicans with the number 1 overall pick. Oh, okay. Well, only took me, 5 rolls to get number 1? Cool. So here we're definitely trading down to draft Scoot, right? 1 for 2 and Zach Collins, and then we're drafting Scoot, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, I this would make my life complete. This would, literally change the organization, the franchise, the team, the future, and this channel for the better. So, anyway, that's the tank race. I mean, I guess we can look at the standings picture too. We'll just look at both.
While you're bringing that up, let me oh, never mind.
I was gonna say, huh?
Thought there was another one, but
nope. If we were better, there'd be more.
Well, thanks again to Jason Hawley.
But yeah, thanks, Jason. So we're still via tiebreaker, I guess not in the play-in. I don't know what the tiebreaker is, but
well, 3-way, I think it goes to conference record.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point in even looking at like a 6 seed. Like, I know we're only 2 back in the loss column, but
we're
our
tied with conference record.
Yeah, got you. Our schedule, guys, our freaking schedule is so brutal. That's why I'm on board the tank trade. We finally decided to win back-to-back games, nice, but Boston, Philadelphia, New Orleans, New York, Boston, the Clippers, Utah, Chicago, OKC, New Orleans, Sacramento twice, Minnesota, Memphis, San Antonio, Clippers, Warriors. That's brutal.
Yeah.
That's freaking brutal. At least after this stretch, this Eastern Conference road trip, at least we have a lot of home games and later games. Outside of some Sunday games, some weekend stuff, but yeah, that's our schedule. Brutal.
Predictions on record.
Record the rest of the way? I mean, I can pull back up the schedule.
7-10.
I think over our next 5 games, we go 1-4. Okay, then we win one of LA and Utah. Okay, so that's 2 wins. Then Chicago, OKC, New Orleans, Sacramento at home. I feel like I've been a little hard. I think we can maybe get 3 of those wins if like Ant and Nurk is back.
Yeah.
So that's 5 wins, and then at Minnesota, at Memphis, at San Antonio, at LA. I mean, and then versus Golden State at home, probably 2 wins out of those 5 max. So that's 7 wins the rest of the way.
I think that we have that break between the New York and Boston game at home from the 14th and 17th. I think by the 17th we should have Nurk and Ant back at least.
Yep. I mean, 7 wins the rest of the way would put us at 38-44, which is like the worst record to have. It's not bad enough, not good enough.
Definitely not good enough to be in the play-in. I don't know.
37-38 wins is where we'll be. I feel very confident in that.
Yeah.
Clip this, and we'll see if we're right at the end of the season, mods. Clip this. That's our prediction. 37-38 wins. We need a predictions tab in the Discord that I can just type in.
Kings up 5 in the second quarter, so
yeah, I guess we're rooting for the Kings there, right?
Four-way tie. Yeah,
Are we rooting for the Kings there? No, we don't want the Pelicans to be bad because they would have 2 chances of moving up for Wemby. I mean, that'd be a worst case scenario, is if they got him.
Yeah, I don't know, but if we get into the play-in, don't we want the Kings to be in second?
Do we though?
I don't know.
How much of a
without Ja? Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not rooting for anything in that game. I don't care. I know I'm rooting for Denver to not screw me on a double down today.
Go Raptors.
Who did I take in that Pelicans game?
You took the Pelicans.
Why did I take the Pelicans?
I don't know. The Kings are favored by 6, though. So.
I took the Pelicans because I saw chat at 70% Kings, and you took the Pelicans, so I wanted to see Pelicans to see how much that would drop, and then right after I took Pelicans, it dropped from 70 to like 52%. That's why I was laughing so hard when that happened, Eric. I was like, I don't know who I want in this game. I'm just gonna pick the same as you and see how chat reacts. No Fox. Fox was questionable, so we didn't know if he was playing or not. So we'll see. But, yeah. This feels like the end of the postgame show, and we're only an hour and 20 minutes in, Eric. These might end up getting shorter.
Yeah.
Especially Friday and Sunday.
And it's Monday.
Friday and Sunday. Either I miss one of them, or they're both relatively shorter. Because I need to DoorDash. So, and Friday and Sunday are the top 2 days to do that.
Yeah.
Draft talk. I need to watch some college basketball too. So.
Well, we got conference tournaments coming up this week, so that'll be.
Yeah. There's a comment. You guys got triggered a bit unnecessarily. There's nothing wrong with wanting the scoring title, my man. I mean, just say you're late to the conversation. You have no idea what the other guy was even saying in the conversation because he specifically said it wasn't about the scoring title. And just say you don't understand our what we're talking about at all. You're too late to this conversation, bro. We're not having this conversation again.
If you had a betonline.ag and you bet the over in that Sixers-Pacers game, congratulations.
Jeez, what a
290. It was 114 all at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah. Crazy. 147, 143 didn't go into OT, and that's with Philadelphia having Embiid. No one guy can single-handedly carry a defense. I mean, but they had Melton and Jalen McDaniels start. There's just I guess Indiana just hit shots. I don't know. I mean, I didn't watch the game. Halliburton was phenomenal, 40 and 16. Mathurin, 13 off the bench. Anyway, are there any good college games on right now?
Well, what's not 19? Are we supposed to be like happy that they almost choked near 20-point lead to the Pistons tonight, who are playing absolutely nobody other than Jaden Ivey? Like, are we supposed to break that down? The meltdown?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think there's college basketball other than is the WCC.
Play?
I think
or did they already play?
Aren't the finals tonight?
No.
Or the
Yeah, Gonzaga plays at 8:30 against San Francisco.
Tonight?
Yep.
That's not the finals?
Nope, it's semifinals.
Semifinals?
Yeah.
I thought
St. Mary's is playing BYU right now.
Okay, I thought the quarterfinals were Saturday.
They might have been.
There's usually not a day off. Oh, maybe there was a day off because of BYU. I don't know.
Yeah, quarterfinals were Saturday. There was nothing yesterday, and then semifinals were today.
Because usually conference tourneys don't have a day off, right?
Yeah,
but
I think
when
they're early enough, they
BYU can't play on Sundays though. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, must be the reason.
So they probably just never play on Sundays for the tournament then. Yeah. Oh yeah, Gonzaga at San Francisco on ESPN.
Yeah, in the tournament they have to purposely make sure they're the Thursday, Saturday game, so that doesn't happen.
I need to get my bracketology stuff together and start that. God, I'm so behind on everything with college basketball. It's so sad.
All Jakob Haus with the Norwegian $20 cronies. DoorDash cam, Tori.
DoorDash cam. Yeah, just leak my customers' addresses. Hell yeah. What are you saying?
I was just going to say there's a lot of conference tourney games if you're home during the day this week, or if you're international or whatever, it might be at night. But yeah, a lot of good games that you can watch to prospect watch this week.
Yeah. I would love it if you like tweeted out specific games to watch like early in the day, or just for the week or something, like games you'll be watching or something.
I could do that.
That'd be cool.
Boston One does that too.
Yeah. But people value your opinions on college basketballs. So I don't know why I pluralized college basketball, but anyway.
But yeah, there's several players that, like Jet Howard in Michigan, are like not in the tourney right now. So unless they go on a run in the tourney, they're probably in their conference tourney. They're not going to make it. So if you want to see him play, might be your last chance to watch him.
Yeah, they've been a major disappointment this year. A lot of the top teams preseason have been disappointing.
North Carolina might not make the tourney. Not that they have like super high prospects, but if you want to watch like Caleb Love and Baycott, if they lose in the ACC tourney early, they're going to be out. So that might be your last chance to do that.
Yep. Michigan, out of 100 bracketologists, only 3 of them have them in. So they'd need a couple like super high quality wins.
Yeah.
And then North Carolina only 1. So North Carolina is looking like they're out.
Max Anderson has any good centers the Blazers can draft late in the first round.
Derek Lively.
Derek Lively is someone that Tori and I both like as a kind of defensive center with good length that is kind of a liability on offense, but yeah.
Yeah, and then there's another center on that team that's kind of the opposite, Filipowski, who's kind of an offensive big. And
yeah, I'm not very high on Filipowski, but I mean, if you start to get in late first, early second, I could understand it, but yeah, I'm not a huge Filipowski guy. I also really like Daron Holmes, who plays for Dayton. patterned his game after both Obi Toppin and Nicholas Claxton, and went to Dayton specifically because of the way they developed Obi Toppin. So that's a guy in the early second round that I'm looking at. I really like a lot as a center, but yeah.
Yep. Anyway, anything else?
What was your motto for Obi Toppin? I forget.
Dropping games for topping gains or something like that. Yeah. That was a goated motto. Jakob says, Tori, what the hell, man? What? What do you mean, what the hell? Any news on the GP2 investigations? Not that I've heard.
So Donald says, why draft a center? Remember Sam Bowie? Odin was an injury bug. I guess that means we can never even have a center on the team ever again.
Why draft a point guard? We drafted Sebastian Telfair, and look how that turned out. We shouldn't draft Damian Lillard.
I mean, we're also talking late first, early second, not with the number 2 pick or number 1 pick. Hey, come on, man.
If we had the 3rd pick back in 2014, we shouldn't have taken Embiid. Well, the thing is, Embiid was out the first 2 years, too.
Yeah, Embiid was not first.
Jakob, I honestly have no idea what you're talking about. Jared Bayless, yeah. We didn't have a good track record with point guards, so. Anyway, your boy's hungry.
Yeah. I need to go eat too.
Yeah, so I'm going to see what Jakob said I promised or something, and then...
If we have pick 12, the guy is Taylor Hendricks, 100%. No doubt in my mind, Taylor Hendricks is the guy.
Clip this, and let's look back on it in 5 years.
Yep. If we get 12 and pass on Taylor Hendricks, I'm going to be so mad.
What are you talking about, Jakob? Either tell me or don't. I don't know what the hell this riddle is.
Kyle Wilson asked if OSU should fire Wayne Tinkle. What's up, Kyle? I don't think it matters. I think they're kind of screwed anyway. I don't think it's a big deal to keep him, but yeah.
Donald Jones says, LOL, that's my point. We draft terrible regardless of position. That's not true. I'd say actually we've drafted pretty well since we drafted Dame. If you count Dame, then CJ, drafted Pat Connaughton, Will Barton, Gary Trent Jr. in the second round. All 3 of those guys were good picks for them being second rounders.
Anthony
Simons as well. Jabari Walker could end up being a good second round pick.
For all the hate that the Zach Collins pick got, if he doesn't get hurt, that might have been a good pick. And
yeah, I mean, he's been impressive this season. So,
how many seconds do we have this summer? It's looking like just 1 right now, and it'll end up being the best of the Hawks or the Nets. So whichever one finishes with the worst record. I think right now it's like 45 or something like that.
Yep. Jakob said, it was just me pulling your finger so the stream can last longer. All right, well, we got to end the stream then, Eric. We'll be live again on Wednesday. We'll tweet about college prospects. I don't know. I can't speak for you. But if I'm watching a game and I'm impressed by somebody, I'll try and tweet about it. And you guys can follow us on Twitter. Links in the description box below for our Twitters, so you can stay up to date with what we think of college prospects or when we're watching games. And, we can do some scouting together as a community. Because this draft will be important for the Blazers, regardless of if they make the playoffs or not.
Aeromancer, no, they can't. Don't spread misinformation.
Oh, God. I tweeted out, Nerlens Noel was a trade target that the Blazers were in. I said, so Nerlens Noel was a trade target that the Blazers were interested in this past deadline, but wouldn't pay $500,000 for him after he was brought out. Amazing. And Ryan Whitledge said, Do we know that Nerlens was even interested in siding with PDX? Like, bro, he signed a 10-day, man. He signed a 10-day.
Yep.
Like, yeah, you think he's gonna take a 10-day over a rest of season guaranteed contract? No.
Eric Olsen, we literally just talked about Derek. Did you disappear for a few minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew people would say that. I knew it. It's always the same people too. Jakob asked if I'm going live on my gaming channel after this. I'm ready for some Mario Kart. I am not, but Jakob, man, if you want to play, I've started playing Rocket League a little bit. If you want to play, I don't know how that works if you're good and I'm horrible, but if you have patience and you're good at Rocket League and want to help me out get better, I'm all for. I'll play with anyone. So just hit me up if you want to.
You have a gaming channel?
No, I don't have a gaming channel.
I want you to have you start a gaming channel.
Yeah. Here's my gaming channel. Watch Eric suck really bad at Rocket League and like go for the ball and like just completely whiff on it and then go in reverse and then try to hit it again and whiff a second time. And yeah.
People don't realize how hard that game is if they haven't played it. Like, I remember watching it before I ever played. I was like, oh, this looks easy. And then I played it, and it's so hard.
Okay, get this, dude.
What?
So, do you know who secretly plays Rocket League?
Who?
Trevin.
He does? Oh, I've heard about him.
Okay.
About it before.
No, but get this.
What?
So the other day, I was like, hey, Trevin, I started playing Rocket League. Would you like to play sometime?
Yeah.
And he said no. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, and so he said, like, it's like, it gets really, it's not a game where like a good player can play with a bad player. And I was like, so are you saying like you don't want to play or you're like using that? And he's like, I don't want to play. And I'm like, okay. Cool.
Well, it looks like we have a mod opening, guys. I mean, like, it is tough.
I know.
Yeah. Like, I played with Carter for a while, and it's been, and even now, like, Connor's pretty good now, but even now when we play ranked, because I only play ranked, because I just, I'm competitive. I don't want to play casual. It's boring. When we still play ranked, it's like there's sessions where I just have to try so hard in order for us to win games, and it gets exhausting. Like Fortnite, you fight, like 20% of the time or whatever. A lot of it's just kind of screwing around, or shooter games like that. Rocket League is just like you gotta be on top of everything.
Right.
So
yeah, if you're good at Fortnite, like you can carry a team,
Yeah. But we were able to get Connor to champs in 2, so that was good.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get it if you're like a ranked, highly ranked Rocket League player, like a pro Rocket League player. You don't
that highly ranked.
No, exactly. Like, and you could play competitive or like casual, right? You don't have to play competitive. So
yeah, I'd play casual with you.
Yeah,
I don't know why Trevin wouldn't just. I mean, that's just Trevin. He won't talk to us. He won't Trevin's just weird like that. So, Suns Valley podcast needs a 5-minute timeout. I will happily. Actually, he was asking for likes earlier, and somebody might watch it back and see that and like the video, so I can't. But how do I remove his? I can't even remove his message. Oh God, fine. Well, the stream's ending anyway.
Nick Thompson said Neil Olshey donated $1,000 to the Brian Wheeler GoFundMe account. Good on him. Nice gesture, yes. However, what are the Blazers doing, man? I mean, it was kind of shady how they treated him when he had health problems, and now because of those health problems, he's struggling financially. Like, we can't get him some sort of position in the organization or something that can help pay his bills, or some sort of medical insurance or something that helps him out right now, like for how long he was part of this Blazers organization. Come on, Blazers, do better than that. We shouldn't take the fans donating money or Neil Olshey donating money to help the guy out. The Blazers need to do right by him, in my opinion.
Yep. Jakob, no, probably not. He's a
No,
millionaire.
Brian Wheeler is having some health problems, and it's causing some issues where his medical bills have gotten so large that he can't pay for his mortgage or everyday things. And so someone posted, one of his friends, it wasn't even Brian Wheeler that did it, but that's we shouldn't have to donate through a GoFundMe. I mean, it's cool that so many people are donating, and it's a real good story for those people that are willing to help out. I applaud those people, but I mean, the fact that the organization hasn't stepped in at this point is ridiculous. And another reason why this organization sucks.
Yeah, we didn't need more reasons for this organization sucking, but I mean, it sucked that they won today, depending on how you view it. Blazers beat the Pistons 110-104. They run Jeremy Grant, Cam Reddish into the ground. They play 40 minutes. Dame plays 38, gets kind of banged up in this game. Got hit in the head. His knee was bleeding. Yeah, but Dame, triple-double. 31 points, 13 rebounds, 12 assists. The Blazers gave up 16 offensive rebounds in this game. Drew Eubanks and Trent Watford in their 48 minutes of combined play had 5 rebounds.
Cam with a nice 8 assists. Jeremy Grant actually, he had 3 or 4 threes too. So finally got some good games out of some of the wings.
Yeah. So the Blazers play Wednesday against the Celtics. The schedule is really tough from this point on, so they didn't do good enough in games they should have won in order to have a little leeway here. So it's going to be fascinating to watch the final stretch of this season. It'll be interesting to see when Yusuf Nurkic and Anthony Simons return and how good this team can be with them. Probably not too good, but obviously better than the team that's struggling against tanking teams right now. So this has been the Blazers Uprise postgame show presented by Bet Online. Thank you to everyone who donated. Appreciate everyone who hit that like button. It helps out the channel. And we'll have some stuff coming up in the next month or two on our NBA channel. So go subscribe there as well. Link in description. Wednesday, postgame stream after the Celtics game. Thursday, Blazers Uprise Live. Friday, another postgame stream against a tough team, the Philadelphia 76ers. That's what we have on tap for the rest of the week. Anyway, with all that being said, we are out of here. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your Monday night. We'll see you Wednesday. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.